putting the Super Bowl graphic behind me. We're live now. Sweet. All right. You ready? All right. Give me one. All right. Well, hopefully that doesn't last. Also, I need to change the title.
My eyes look worse than sunglasses.
Long night?
Oh, the gack.
The what?
Gack.
Oh, the Great American Challenge?
Yeah.
Yeesh. That's always pretty brutal. Oh man. Why once it shows that we're streaming on my computer and like actually streaming, I can actually see us, then I'm ready to go. All right. We're good. Let me put it out to the world. Announce to our fans.
I can pull up like the trade tracker.
Yeah, I got a whole tracker. I need it. I sent you that FanDuel post, right? Where it shows every new player in every
on Instagram.
Yeah, I think so. Super helpful actually.
I never
What?
clicked send on the story.
Oh well.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, it's 4 pages.
I know, it's 4 pages long. All right.
Post now.
Let me change this font real quick, and then I'm ready to go. Gotta change the font. Hell yeah.
Garrison Matthews.
He get traded too?
He's on here twice.
Maybe he got traded twice.
Bucks and Mavs.
All right, so we'll look up in the pod where Garrison Matthews is now. All right. You ready? I'm not. My internet.
Our teams. I guess Muscala is on there.
Nothing for the Wiz. They already made their trade, I guess.
They already made their big splash.
Yeah, I already just lost internet, so I should be good now, but I want to make sure the stream's going, and we'll start. Can you keep an eye on the stream as well? Sweet. How do you sound? My dad said he listened to the pod. He said you were a little quiet.
Let me test it out.
Oh, actually, you're not talking at all.
Yeah, no, my volume. I have no volume.
Yeah, I'm figuring that out. Don't worry, don't worry.
There I am.
Can you hear yourself now?
Yeah, I can hear myself now.
Okay. Actually, because I can't see your audio coming in.
Ken, I'm just a little quiet. It's confusing.
I'm figuring it out.
Can't tell because I can't see you. I can't tell if talking is the stream that I'm watching or just you talking to me.
Oh. It's funny. I see nothing from like whenever you talk or anything. I get nothing.
Really? I need to turn like.
Oh, I got it now. Got it now. All right, you should be good.
I can hear myself on here. It's just quiet.
Yeah, how about now? You should be able to hear yourself now.
We'll test. A slight delay.
Slight delay. There's always a delay.
Oh yeah. That's
You're
better.
you're good now? All right, you ready?
Yeah, much better.
Sweet. Let's get the show on the road. Big pod to do. So we'll start with Kevin Durant and then we'll dwindle down from there.
Alright, Are
All
we
right.
doing like Super Bowl?
Yeah, we will afterwards.
End of it. All right.
And we can even talk about actually, let's talk about that first. How the NBA has
Well,
somehow been able to take over Super Bowl week.
oh yeah.
All right. Getting started. 3, 2, 1. I don't for some reason right when I pressed it, it immediately stopped recording. All right, and you just now this time you just laughed, and my bad. I should have told you that I was gonna press it again. So it started, and you were just. All right, three, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys Podcast. I'm your host Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host Chris Hagan.
What's doing?
I'm doing great, Chris. Yesterday was like my Christmas morning. You could if you're watching on the stream, you could see behind me, Mr. Kevin Durant, now on the Phoenix Suns. That is just one of it seemed like 50 moves that happened yesterday at the NBA trade deadline. We were talking last week about possible moves, and we were saying, there's always this noise that never comes in, and there's always a bunch of teams that never trade anybody. But that was not the case
Like
this year.
OG Anunoby. That was
Yes.
our guy that was probably gonna get dealt.
And that was the one guy who didn't get dealt. Him, and we knew John Collins wasn't going anywhere. So
of course not.
They're of course staying put, but there was plenty of other trades to get to. And Chris, you just mentioned it before the pod, and we just talked about it. You were like, "Are we even doing the Super Bowl today?" And yes, we will. Don't you worry. We will be doing the Super Bowl after all these NBA trades. But the NBA landscape has just been able to take over Super Bowl week.
We haven't seen a guy like Durant's stature get traded in years, it feels like. Like, when was the last deadline where you saw a player that's that important get moved?
I don't think ever. Normally, it's always these middling moves that don't really affect the NBA championship. But this just completely blew up the whole landscape of the NBA. This is a trade. And even you just said a caliber of Kevin Durant's player traded ever. Not just, in the middle of the season,
seriously.
but traded ever. And you got to look to like Shaquille O'Neal, Kawhi Leonard, those types of trades for what we're talking about here.
And like, I know there are rumors about it, but nothing. It still felt like nothing was going to happen, even after the Kyrie stuff. It was like, okay, well, maybe he just wanted Kyrie gone, and now it's fully his team. It felt like it came out like there was a tweet from Shams like yesterday that was like, the Suns are closing in on Kevin Durant. It was like, what?
Yeah.
This is actually gonna happen?
Yeah. And it happened at 1 a.m. I'm gonna shout out my boy Arian, who was downstairs. We were watching the Mavs game. I went up to bed. I was laying in bed, couldn't fall asleep. I heard him talk to my roommate and just go, "Oh my God, Kevin Durant just got traded." And I'm, laying in bed, trying to fall asleep, trying not to look at my phone. And all of a sudden, boom, I got to look at everything that just happened
Yeah.
and and it was such like I don't know. It felt like this is going to be, even if they don't win the chip, this was one of those trades where it's like, you remember, not like, it's not like anything of too importance. Like, I remember where you were, but you're going to remember this trade for how it went down, for it being at 1 a.m. and for hopefully helping the Phoenix Suns. I would love to see them, like Chris Paul finally winning the finals. I'd love to see it.
Would too.
So let's talk about the details of that trade. The Suns acquire Kevin Durant and TJ Warren for Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, 4 unprotected firsts, and a pick swap. And and draft rights to some guy named Juan Pablo. I didn't even know that. But anyways, they gave up a lot. a ton for Kevin Durant, but I think this is exactly the type of move that puts you into NBA title contention.
Yeah, and they probably figured that they maybe running out of time with Chris
Hmm.
Paul. Like he's already had some issues this year with staying on the floor, and even when he is staying on the floor, like he's going to start declining. He already has a little bit, and you have the perfect roster right now to go win, but that depends on your star being your star. If you can't depend on that, and that's why you go make a move like this. Now,
And
like I don't think there's any argument against them being the best roster in the NBA.
yeah, and you could look at their bench depth. Their bench depth is not good, and that's because they had to give up so much for Kevin Durant. But with that piece that you get, and you get TJ. It's funny. An underrated part of this is you get TJ Warren back, who, uh, in the bubble was the next coming of Michael Jordan, and has had a pretty solid career. He's a solid role player, and he was just come off. Funny. I think in the bubble he played like Michael Jordan, and then he didn't play for like another 2 years because of injuries. So I was
Yeah.
excited when the Brooklyn Nets signed him, and it'll be hopefully a good fit for the Suns. They're going to be on the buyout market. They're going to be just adding guys. I was thinking like even like
Oh yeah.
if they need like just some bench help, get Melo, get some scorer. This is now one of those teams where you have that a number one apex predator in Kevin Durant. So that's just gonna bring bring a bunch of other bus riders with him and all of his friends and all that stuff. So
Mm.
they'll fill out their roster. I think they'll be just fine. And as you said, they're on a timetable with Chris Paul where they got maybe 1-2 good years of him left. So and good years as in like this is not prime Chris Paul. This is the back end of his career Chris Paul. So you get Kevin Durant, you get that extra score, and this is like exactly if they had this roster against the Bucks 2 years ago in the finals, there's a better chance they win it.
Oh well, yeah, most definitely.
So that's
It's like Kevin Durant that we're talking about.
yeah, no, and that's
It's not like they went and got like an extra shooter. Like they
yeah,
went and got
Kevin Durant.
possibly the best player in the league.
Yeah. And the what I like about this is Kevin Durant's not coming in. He's not this is Devin Booker's team still. As long it'll be Kevin Durant's team as well, but this Booker is Mr. Arizona. Everyone loves him in Phoenix, and
Mm.
he's going into an actual culture where he's not the leader and he's not the guy
Mm.
who has to he's like on the Nets, he was there and he was basically the GM. He was basically the coach.
Yep.
Recruited all of his boys there. He won't be able to blow up this team because they're not going
Yeah.
to give him the power to do so.
I would hope so, at least.
Yeah, I hope people
It's like
learn
they
from
already
him.
have a good setup.
Yep.
But thinking about Durant in Phoenix is just weird.
There was
I know because he's such like a big personality. Maybe Phoenix is just the opposite of that. It seems.
and it's funny though, they got their new owner. Their new owner officially became the acting governor what was it? It was not even 5 hours before this trade. It was like that same day
Mm.
they did it, and this happens all the time. You saw with the Timberwolves why they traded all that crap for Rudy Gobert. The new owner syndrome comes in. They got to trade
Yeah.
for someone big, and nothing's better. Like nothing is better than trading for Kevin Durant. I feel like this
Oh
is
yeah.
like if you could trade, like you make up anything in 2K in like hell the Wizards, we'd be like trade everything for Kevin Durant, and all of a sudden
Mm.
everything's fixed. So I'm very excited to see how they work, they play, and I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with once Kevin Durant is healthy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, are they? Do they become the odds-on favorites to win the finals?
I think so. I think they are now plus 500 and are tied with the Boston Celtics, who were the favorites beforehand. So
Where are they? They in the standings, right?
the Suns, they dipped off a little bit because
Like
everyone was injured. So
low.
I don't know. Do you
A
see it?
6 seed right now.
Okay.
They're 8.5 games out of first. 3 games over 500.
But so this was a Western Conference that was wide open. Mavericks have have one less loss than them and are in the 4 seed. So
Right.
They can jump up. They're gonna jump teams like the Grizzlies, the Kings. Yeah, they were fun. They had their shot, but it's time for the big boys to play.
Yep.
And Kevin Durant's back. I'm excited to see him go against the Warriors, go against the Mavericks now with Kyrie. I mean, they already had this rivalry, the Mavs and the Suns. So now adding the Kyrie aspect where he said he's not leaving his boy, and then he immediately
Mhm.
left his boy. And I hope it's not just like as much as it's great to see people like if they, dap up and hug and have a great time. But I want to see some animosity. I want to see some anger from Kevin Durant when he goes up
I
against
want some
this
real
this
tension.
Mavericks team. Yeah, and the Suns, they should be itching to play these Mavs again after what they did to them in Game 7.
Oh yeah, that was probably the most embarrassing Game 7 that I've ever watched.
Oh, it was the most
For them to
embarrassing
be at
thing.
home,
Yeah, losing by
it's
30.
horrible,
Yeah,
horrible. Like did not score points.
nope, not at all.
But
So,
yeah, March 5th, these two teams play again.
ooh.
Last
Also,
time this season, and there's
LeBron.
a pretty good chance to meet in the playoffs.
Yes, and LeBron is also of we can't. He's now upgraded his team. We'll get to that trade in a little bit, but LeBron and KD haven't played together on the same court since 2018.
Really?
Yep, 2018 was the last time they both faced each other, and
Interesting.
so now they're probably going to meet in the playoffs, or it's come if the Lakers make it that far. They're
Mm.
going to meet in the regular season, and it's going to be a battle. I'm excited. This really adds to a Western Conference. I was like, oh, you have the Grizzlies, you have the Kings are up there. They're going to be fun, but there's some real teams here to be worried about. And if you're the
Oh
Nuggets,
yeah.
you're the Warriors, the Clippers, you're shitting your pants.
Yeah, I mean those are definitely the real losers of the deadline, where the teams that just stood pat.
Yeah.
Figured we got a good enough squad right now. It's like you can't expect the Grizzlies or the Nuggets to go get a guy like Durant, but maybe at least do something to upgrade a little bit. Whereas now, like you are clearly on the wrong side of this deadline,
Yeah,
and
so
it really doesn't like the seeding doesn't matter that much. Having the home games in the playoffs can be big, but you really just have to be in it.
yeah. Yep.
Then it's like the most talented team wins.
And it's always the best player on the floor wins. And now when the
Yep.
Suns come up against the Nuggets, against any team in the Western Conference, they are going to have the best player on the floor, which is a healthy Kevin Durant. And hopefully a happy one. And I know he doesn't,
I hope so.
he doesn't deserve he doesn't deserve this freedom from the Nets. He should have had to play with the mess that he created. But
Mhm.
that's not how it worked, and he got his wish. He ended up on the Suns, which it seemed like he wanted to anyways at the beginning of the season. So hopefully we get a nice, happy Kevin Durant that will help out the Suns. All right,
Yeah, I am excited to see him on another new team.
yeah, it's
Always
always yeah.
exciting to see, just to see like the new jerseys.
So that's the thing. With the NBA, how the landscape is now, are they just forming a league where you have to be a fan of the players, not the teams? Because like these guys, they're so celebrated for being traded, and so
Yeah, I know.
uh and the trade requests always work out, and everyone who wants to go to a new team ends up on a new team. So there's no there's no sense of loyalty anymore, and it's been like that for a little bit. But it's really exemplified itself, especially this trade deadline where everyone's getting housed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it's NBA definitely more than any other league is the most player centered, and like you have people that are Luca fans or that are LeBron fans or fans of whatever player, and to me that doesn't make sense. I don't know how you could get the same
Satisfaction.
satisfaction
Yeah.
from seeing like a player win versus your team that you've put all this time into. But each their own. We're pretty intense sports fans, so we probably have a different look on things.
Yeah, we're pretty ride or die with our team, so it
Yeah,
gets it gets
it doesn't
hairy.
really matter who's on the team.
Yeah, that's true.
But again, like that's how they're gonna make their money. Like the stars make the money.
Yep. And they can advertise it. They can have these trade deadline. ESPN can have 3 different live shows going on at once. Woj can have his
Right.
show. It really becomes an event. And that's what it felt like yesterday
Mhm.
was I swear to you, from the time I woke up to 3 o'clock, the deadline, I was on Twitter. On my laptop in class, when I was walking in between classes, I scrolled on my phone. I was not missing a single trade that happened immediately because I find it so fascinating, so fun, especially like they'll report something and then it's like, oh, like the Sadiq Bey. Sadiq Bey they got reported he's getting traded to the Warriors, and then immediately it's like, nope, he's going to the Hawks, and then they're getting whatever back, and it's a whole mess. But I love the mess.
And like we say it all the time, sports fans, but like it's better than any sort of TV because it's not scripted.
Yeah.
Like usually we say that referring to games, but it applies with the trade deadline too. Like this is like what TV tries to be.
Yes. Yes.
Like all these guys like whining about where they are, finding
They
new homes, and then
the
trying to make it work there.
Yeah, this plot line couldn't be written. They'd be like, it doesn't make any sense. It's too ridiculous. Oh, Kevin Durant, he
Mhm.
just signed with this team. What do you mean? He can't get traded a year
Just
later.
requested a trade
Yeah.
in before the season started. Are we
Yeah.
just gonna run that same storyline back? Yes.
hmm And we're actually gonna run it back to the team that he exactly wanted to go to.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It all worked out in the end.
All right. There's a lot of other trades we got to get through. So let's go. The Lakers. They had a busy day. They had one. It was the night before, right before the Kevin Durant trade. They traded Russell Westbrook, Damian Jones, Juan Toscano Anderson, and yeah, that's all of them. And a top four protected 2027 first round pick for D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. The Timberwolves get Mike Conley, Nikhil Alexander Walker, and a couple second rounders. What are your initial thoughts on this?
Seems like the Lakers did not have to give up that much.
No, not at all. And
D'Angelo Russell.
that
It's funny, like these 3-team trades, it feels like somebody always
gets
kind of
two extra
gets
players.
right.
Like the Lakers, how did they end up getting Malik and Vanderbilt in this? I guess the contracts work and it made sense, but the Jazz they get one more first and it's a good first, but it's the
Mhm.
Lakers. I gotta say, the Lakers had a great day, an absolute
Oh
great
yeah,
day because they get this.
absolutely.
Not only did they trade their pick finally, but it's top four protected, which everyone was expecting an unprotected pick, and they
Mhm.
got it to top four. So if they suck in 2027 because there's no LeBron and there's no AD or whatever, they can at least try to tank. Um, and they get D'Angelo Russell back. He's had a great season so far, and he's one of those players where again in the playoffs he's not going to be anyone you want to rely on.
Mhm.
He's not going to be like he shouldn't be the focal point of the offense, but he's not. LeBron James is. So that
Right.
I think he's in a great situation. Malik Beasley, a shooter, right in the stick him in the corner. Jared Vanderbilt, great on defense. Another just competent players on this Lakers roster, which is what they needed. They just needed competent players.
That's a new one.
Yes.
Confident players on this roster. Yeah,
hmm
and you're right. Like LeBron, we saw it the other night when he broke. Oh, we didn't even talk about him breaking the
I
record
know.
yet.
I know.
But
We could do that right
we'll get
now.
to that. But you want to do it now?
Actually, no. We'll do it after all the trades
Right.
because
But he showed, even at his age right now, that he can be a dominant force. And like, if they make the playoffs, you're gonna get a lot of LeBron ball. Like he can put this team on his back.
when you were saying
Just needs
earlier
some help.
the seeds don't matter, and
Mhm.
this is the epitome of it. When the Lakers make it into the playoff, they will make it in the playoff. They're the 13th seed right now, but this roster that they put together is just so much more competent than the last two seasons of the Lakers. So they're gonna sneak their way into the play-in. They're gonna beat whoever they need in the play-in. And if you're the Nuggets or the Grizzlies and you're the 1 or 2 seed and they're
Mhm.
creeping up as an 8th or a 7th seed, I wouldn't want to see them. Why the hell would I ever want to see LeBron James with competent teammates in the
Nope.
playoffs?
Not.
Also, we got a comment from good old Kevin Sieber saying, "What's up with the sunglasses?"
I needed him.
That's the only thing we're saying here.
There's pain
So all right, more on
behind
this
the glass.
more on this trade. The Grizzlies, I like what they did, or Timberwolves, sorry. They get Mike Conley. He's now back with Rudy Gobert. He's worked with Rudy Gobert. He's the reason the Jazz, him and Rudy Gobert, Jazz were the number 1 seed the past 2 years.
Mhm.
And I think just getting a guy who knows how to play with him, another veteran guy that can help lead, you know, Cat and um, Anthony Edwards. So I think that's a great trade for them. Nikhil Alexander
Jenkins is
Walker.
definitely a better fit than Russell was.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And he also will be reliable in the playoffs where they actually need him.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah, Nikhil Alexander Walker, I feel like the past 3 trade deadlines, for some reason, his name has been thrown in there. Just like,
yeah, he's a big like throw it in there.
yeah, just, oh, you want another
You
guy?
got him.
You can
Oh,
get
how
him.
about Nikhil?
Yeah,
Okay.
look at Nikhil Alexander Walker. And Russ. So Russ is now on the Jazz. He will not be playing for the Jazz. I can break that news now that they're going to buy him out. This will now be
This is a sad situation.
he if he gets bought out. This will be his 6th team in 4 years, 3 years. That's insane.
What was it Thunder, Rockets, and who did he go to? Did he go from the Rockets? Yeah, to the
The
Wizards
Wizards.
and the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Jazz.
Yep.
Then
And then now a new team.
buyout,
Which,
and that's wild.
so buyout market's gonna be fun. There's too many trades to to speculate on the buyout market. So we'll just get there when it gets there. What I guess that, and while we're on the Lakers, they then traded Pat Bev for Mo Bamba. I think that's another great move. I think Mo Bamba is a great guy to put next to AD. He can shoot the 3 decently, and he's just a backup center and that can play as a center, so Anthony Davis can play power forward.
You also get like the Pat Bev stink out of there. It's like
No,
him always
this was a
trying to
this
make
was
it
a
about
correction
himself.
deadline. It was a
Yeah,
correction
right.
deadline. It was like, oh, we
Like
shouldn't have made
hand
that
up,
Pat Bev move.
right? We screwed up. Oh, Pat Bev, you're gone. Russ, you're gone.
And I like how they
Miss
didn't have to
Russell.
trade a pick
Yeah,
for it.
it was actually perfectly executed.
And they didn't have to trade a pick. They sent cash to the Magic, and I guess a second round pick, but who cares? And
I
they
think
also,
Bamba's better than Thomas Bryant, though.
well, did you see? I was wondering why they traded Thomas Bryant and why they sent him to the Nuggets, and it came out later that he actually requested a trade from the Lakers.
Really?
Yeah, so I guess he didn't like his playing time. I guess he didn't like
Yeah.
all the noise around him, and he's also now going to be in Lakers infamy as the guy who was calling for the ball as
Yeah,
LeBron hit
right.
his shot. Um,
He might have gotten dipped on that photo. Like he could
yeah.
have just had a hand up,
Well,
like
it was
trying
funny.
to
The comments are like he could have taken
defend
his
himself.
phone out, started recording the shot because he wasn't getting it. Uh, so with the Nuggets, they get Thomas Bryant and they got rid of Bones Highland for 2 second-round picks. That was what baffled me. Is I know he had a little sporadic season. There was some noise about trading him, but 2 second-round picks just does not seem like enough for a
Mm.
decent player who's going to play well for the Clippers.
Yeah, and a really young player too.
Yeah, the Clippers now they retain him for 3
First-round pick.
years, and they don't have to pay him jack. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he plays on the Clippers, how he fits, if he fits better, because it was weird. It seemed like he was one of the only guys who couldn't. It was like, oh, like he couldn't work with Jokic, which could be a concerning aspect considering the stamina of Jokic and the greatness of him.
Cash considerations and what else?
Sorry, I lost connection. I didn't hear what you were saying.
Oh, my bad. What did the Clippers give up other than cash considerations?
2 picks that ended up going to the Lakers in that Thomas Bryant trade. 2 second-round picks.
2?
Yep. That's it. 2
I
second-round
don't
picks.
see. Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
The trade tracker makes it kind of confusing.
Yeah,
Doesn't
this
say,
one
like,
I'm looking at, they made it into a 4-team, trade where the Clippers get
Yeah.
Bones, Nuggets get Thomas Bryant, Lakers get Mo Bamba and Devon Reed, and then Magic get Pat Bev. So that it makes it a little confusing. I don't know if that's how it officially was, but yeah, that's so they also made the Kevin Durant a 4 team because the Bucks then got Jay Crowder and the Pacers got a bunch of crap from the Bucks, which is I don't even know how those go in, but we
Of
can talk about.
course, the Bucks perfect landing spot for Jay Crowder.
Yeah, that seemed like this was done a
That was
week
perfect.
ago. Yeah, this seemed like
Yeah.
it was done a couple weeks ago. So a great spot for him. He's gonna be fresh. You know, he hasn't played all season, so we'll see if that comes in to a benefit or a negative. Little
Mm.
rust versus rest argument. We'll see what happens. And yeah, perfect pick for them. Just a nice wing that can help him out defensively. He'll hit a big shot in the playoffs, or he'll stink in the playoffs. So we'll see.
I also love the Pacers getting George Hill back.
It's
I remember
homecoming.
playing with George Hill
Yeah,
on like 2K11
yeah.
when he was on the Pacers.
A lot of homecomings this trade deadline. The
Yeah,
George Hill
we'll have
back
to
to the
see it.
Pacers. Anyone else? Mike Conley back with Rudy Gobert. D'Angelo Russell back to the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Jakob Poeltl back to the Raptors. Which
Yeah,
the
Gilbert.
Raptors, they they were the big favorite to trade all these guys, and they actually did the opposite and added players, which I actually like.
Interesting move. Really?
I so like there's
You're
always.
always the guy that's quick to just blow things up.
I know, but there's always this rush to do it, and like I don't OG Anunoby's contract. I don't know if is he a free agent at the end of the year. Uh, their contract. He signed a 4-year deal, and he's going to be a free agent in 2025. So there was no rush to trade him. That you have some pieces. They've been disappointing, yes, but I think you get yourself a real center, and you kind of reset what you've been trying to do because they haven't had a real center. I feel like in 2-3 years. So it looks like they're just trying
It's
to
Bismack Biyombo.
Bismack Biyombo, yeah. The
Dud.
so the real interesting thing is that Fred Van Vliet seems like he's gonna walk. So that'll be an interesting.
Mm.
The reason why they didn't trade him was I guess maybe there's no market or unknown. But
Right.
I don't know. You're right. I am kind of the guy who always wants to blow it up, but I feel like it's a little too early to blow it up yet. You kind of middle of the
They've
pack.
had success with this team.
Yeah, so just try to see what the kinks are, try to work it out, and I guess they saw no necessary reason to blow it all up. All right,
And
which
they're nice up there.
God, what trade do you want to do
Don't.
next?
Oh, we haven't done the best trade of the day.
Oh, go ahead.
Clippers receive Eric Gordon, future second round picks. Rockets receive Unwall.
Another
Danny
homecoming,
Green.
baby. He's coming back. Also Danny.
I love John Wall, of course. Like I love what he did in DC. He's the best NBA player that I've seen on my team in my life. Boy, is this funny though.
He so if for the listeners at home who don't know, he went on a podcast not even 3 weeks ago and was just ripping the
Yep.
Rockets, saying how the players don't take it seriously, how they're all garbage, how that literally he said that they wouldn't start
He's
for
the guy
any
that he name dropped.
Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green, I believe. He's like those guys just would not start for any NBA team. So that's he's not playing. He's not even putting on a uniform. He
Oh,
won't even go to the locker room
uh,
because if he
do the
goes to the
same
locker
thing
room,
as
yeah,
before.
yep, and he'll get bought out. Which it was funny. Somebody was like, "Oh, is he on that long contract still?" And I was like, "No, because the Rockets bought him out earlier this year. Literally bought him out at this offseason. So they're gonna do it again. And I mean, he can't even step foot in that locker room, or else Kevin
Yeah.
Porter Jr. is gonna beat the crap out of him. Like, there's no way. So that's just a hilarious story. The Rockets, they finally trade Aaron Gordon. They get I didn't realize they get a Rockets first rounder. They get either the Clippers or the Rockets first rounder.
Protected pick swap. Yeah, it seems like they literally got nothing out of this.
They just got rid of Eric Gordon. Just got rid of the
Two
money.
old farts.
Yeah, who will probably both get
Yeah.
bought out. Honestly,
Like, what is Danny Green gonna do on the Rockets?
No, he doesn't
Don't
want
want
to
to be
play with
there.
them either. Eric Gordon's finally free though. I think
Oh, he's
with
been just like sitting there a
just
couple years,
waiting.
like ever since Harden left,
Yeah.
because he was like Harden's guy.
hmm
Guy's just been like you said, waiting to get traded.
So in this, they said it was a three-teamer, and Luke Kennard ended up in the Grizzlies. So that's how Danny Green, I guess, goes to the Rockets. And Luke Kennard, good shooter. I think great depth piece for this Grizzlies team,
Hmm?
and it just adds more depth and shooting depth for a pretty deep team already. The
This is
Clippers,
what we're used to at the trade deadline: is guys just going and getting a shooter,
yeah,
like
yeah.
Bogdanovich
Mm-hmm. Shocked that he didn't get traded.
or
Either one of them.
Ilyasova.
Ilyasova. Yeah.
Those guys are always getting moved at the trade deadline.
Eric Gordon for the Clippers. So the Clippers now have Bones Highland, Eric Gordon, and they also then got what's his name? Mason Plumlee. So they got upgrades around Kawhi and Paul George. Little security for Zubac with
Yep.
Plumlee. And just I like it. I mean, they it seems like they cut down their rotation a little bit by getting some of these guys who are known commodities, known where they're gonna fit. And I think it's a playoff move.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
All right. What's next? Let's go Josh Hart. Josh Hart from the Knicks goes to the Knicks from the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers get Matisse Thybulle, Cam Reddish, a couple other bums, and the Sixers get Jalen McDaniels, and the Hornets get
Archie Diacono was good at Villanova.
who?
Saying Brian Archie Diacono.
So it's funny. I saw a thing. It was like out of the 9 active Villanova players, I think like 5 of them got traded this deadline. But speaking of Villanova,
Who else is there?
Josh Hart. He's now back with.
Josh Hart went to Nova. I didn't know.
I guess so. That's what I heard. That's what I saw. Because he played with Jalen Brunson apparently. So
Oh, I
he's
gotcha.
he's back with Brunson.
Oh,
This
another
is a
homecoming.
Yep. This is a great Tibbs move. Tibbs doesn't like. I mean,
Yep.
he wasn't never gonna play Cam Reddish. They didn't really give up much. They got what, a top 14 protected first round pick, the Blazers. So that's nothing.
Mhm.
And you add a player that Tibbs is actually gonna want to play. So that's a dub for the Knicks.
Yeah, definitely. It was funny to see him like doing warm ups, just getting like pulled off the court. Like, hey,
Oh,
buddy,
was he? Did
uh,
that happen?
not on the team anymore.
I didn't see that. Was he warming up for the
Yeah,
Blazers?
yeah.
That's hilarious. That's
It's
funny.
like it happens at least in one sport, like every year.
Oh, remember one of the Kings
Always like a
players?
big, like emotional.
One of the Kings players got
Like,
traded mid-game, I believe, a couple years ago. I'm pretty sure he got traded like mid-game, and they were like on the bench, like, "Hey, like you're not gonna play the rest of the game. You're
right.
not." So,
Well, hit the showers, buddy.
so the
You got a flight to
Blazers,
catch tonight.
the Blazers. This seems a little like a sort of a backwards move. I mean, you get Matisse Thybulle. You can try out Cam Reddish for the third team in a row to try him out. I hope he just gets some minutes. I still somehow believe in Cam Reddish. I
Oh,
love
I do too.
it's just
Completely.
the Duke infamy around him. And
Okay.
Matisse Thybulle's going to help out Dame Lillard, help out Simons, who none of them play defense, so that'll help out. And
Yeah.
the Sixers get Jalen McDaniels, which is, I guess, just a bench piece that will play hopefully better offensive minutes than Thybulle.
2029 pick. I think that seems like it's illegal to trade a pick that it's that far in the future.
And it's a second rounder. It's like, yeah, that's just,
Like,
it's just like a bag of
what
chips.
is the point of the
Yeah, it's just a bag of chips.
it's a bag of chips?
All right, the Hawks. This trade was weird because so it was
John
supposed to
Collins?
be what?
John Collins?
Nope, no John Collins. I thought John Collins was going to the Warriors. I was so excited. I was like, he's finally free. But the Hawks get Sadiq Bey. The Pistons get the wise guy. The Warriors get Gary Payton and 2 second-round picks. And the
Just really want to
Trailblazers,
get
the
Dayton.
Trailblazers get Kevin Knox, I guess. I didn't even realize that. I thought the Warriors got Kevin Knox. But Wiseman, all right, poor
5
Wiseman.
future second round.
Poor, like, what the hell, Wiseman? They're
Yeah.
gonna they just gave up on him. Just gave up on him. And they tried to keep it, they tried to try him out in the Warriors. He wasn't working out. And now he goes to a team that has what, four centers that are all top picks and are all on this like the same position. So hopefully I want to see him get a fair shot somewhere where he's not pressured to be this championship player and he's not pressured to be uh any star. I just want to see him develop as an NBA player, and
Hmm.
hopefully he gets that opportunity in the Pistons.
Yeah, he was in one of the weirder situations for a top draft pick I can recall,
So,
because he came into that Warriors team after Curry and Clay were out like the whole year.
yep.
That's why they had the high pick. But then both those guys were healthy, and then they go win a championship.
And
And like they didn't have time to get this guy minutes and develop him, and he had injury problems. So
and
just it's not a great situation for
and
him,
he played a game at Memphis. I think if
right?
maybe like a game or two at Memphis. Then it was the COVID year. He didn't play any other games. There was no really tape on him. It was all like the high school and the prospect type where it's like this hype. And it was just a weird draft. Like they had to do it on, like Zoom or whatever it was. And the it was just the wrong pick. And
Mm,
when you think about it, it's like if they either traded back or they got someone like Halliburton, he'd be just like a core piece to them right now. But that you're right, they didn't have time to develop him, and he also was slow to the system, and they didn't have time for him to learn the system, and they it wasn't on their timetable. So I guess that's what you
mm.
get. But then like that second overall pick has now turned into Gary Payton Jr., who was on your team last year, and 2 second round
Yeah,
picks.
yeah. For a
It
former
just
number 2 overall pick,
Yeah.
it's not a lot of value.
No.
Although you know that they love Gary Payton,
Yeah, and it's a great like
and
it's something they needed. They needed something like that,
yeah,
and they you're right. They love Gary Payton. He's now won. He won a chip with them last year, and he's back. He just had like basically a vacation in Portland. Hey, go vacation in Portland for a couple weeks. We'll trade
right.
back for you.
Don't really have to try over
Yeah.
there, but we get you back.
Yep.
You try.
Other ones. I guess this one we don't have to deep dive into. Josh Richardson, Pelicans, Devontae Graham to the Spurs. Upgrade for the Pelicans defensively. Mike Mazzulla, or no, sorry, not Mike Mazzulla, Mike Muscala. To the Celtics for Justin Jackson and 2 second round picks. I'm just glad we didn't give up Peyton Pritchard or Grant Williams or really anyone who
Mm.
played. This is
Doesn't Pritchard isn't Pritchard ready to walk?
he is, but he's doing it in a respectful way. He's ready
Yeah.
to like actually play and be a contributing guy. And I think the Celtics, they have a lot of guard depth, but with all the injuries that they always get, that I mean, he'll get minutes, he'll play, and I just didn't want to give up on him. I love Peyton Pritchard. I think whenever he does play, he's an absolute animal. He's he just like he does what you want to see on a court for a 6 foot white guy. He shoots the ball well. He doesn't really make terrible mistakes, and he defends his ass off. So that's what I like
Mm.
about it. I'm glad they didn't get rid of him. And there was rumors like him and uh someone else for one of these guys. Oh yeah, for Jakob Pertl, and that would have been an upgrade, a better upgrade than Mike Muscala. But I want to keep the team together. So I'm glad that they just added without doing that, and they're gonna be buyout guys too. So they're gonna get some more
Oh,
help
yeah.
too. All right, Reggie Jackson to the Hornets, Mr.
Brutal.
June. He's gonna get he's not gonna be able to play in June because he's on this probably the worst run franchise besides the Wizards, known to man. Uh, they didn't. They got literally nothing for Mason Plumlee and Jalen McDaniel. Like the Hornets are garbage. I don't know what they're doing. They are just a terrible, terrible franchise. Uh,
That's anything else there? That's
Not
sums it
really.
up pretty well.
No.
Bruno.
Yes, I was gonna say Bruno to the Hawks. Wasn't he on the Hawks
Another
already?
homecoming. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I thought so.
A
And your
Big
boy
Ten
Garrison
trade.
Matthews.
Yes, I do love Garrison Matthews.
Yep.
Comiskey to the Rockets.
Yeah.
They're two former Big Ten centers. Love to see our guys
This was just
active in the
a
league.
this was just a cost-cutting move for the Hawks. I mean, they're no longer paying Justin Holiday, no longer paying Frank Kaminsky. And Bruno, I liked him when he was on the Celtics. I thought he gave
Mhm.
solid minutes. I've liked him everywhere he is. Uh, maybe they'll play him, maybe they won't. And Garrison Matthews, that's just a shooter they could throw in the corner.
The professional shooter.
Yep. Any
I always loved Garrison Matthews. When I realized that he was like actually playing good minutes for the Rockets last year, I was so pissed that the Wizards let him go.
so I tweeted out on our official Wise Guys Twitter that I thought the winners were both LA teams, Milwaukee Bucks, the Phoenix Suns, of course, Dallas Mavericks, and actually the Houston Rockets, who have all of the Nets' first
Mm.
round pick in the next 4 years, 5 years. And I had the losers as the Nets, the Nuggets, Miami Heat, and then John Collins and Raptors rumors. So, anything you agree or disagree with on that
I
list?
mean, it's like basically everyone who didn't do anything is a loser.
Yeah, like the Heat.
And like
The
the
Heat did
Hornets, I guess,
nothing.
could be a loser too because what they did was so not impactful.
They're just always losers.
Or lo-
Yeah, I didn't even think that
They're-
needed to be mentioned. They're just losers. The I could see the
Wizards are
Sixers.
losers as well.
Yeah, the Wizards did nothing. They already made their big splash, I guess, for
Oh,
getting Kendrick Nunn. And yeah, the anyone. Yeah, you're right. Anyone who didn't make a trade is a loser in this sense because it's becoming an arms race. And
mm,
if you're not getting firepower and upgrading, then you're just kind of going backwards because every team around you is. So
yeah, that's a way to describe it, actually.
Bulls Bulls didn't do anything. That'll be interesting. So they're not gonna either blow. They didn't blow it up, and I guess they're just gonna keep chugging along. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much it. The Cavs didn't do anything, but that I don't see them as a loser. They already did their trade in the
Mm,
offseason. They couldn't give up
yep.
any other future aspects or anything else. They could be a buyout guy too. So I don't think them as a loser. So
No, I wouldn't either. It feels like they're not like it's not like finals or bust for them this year either.
yeah, they're building towards
We're
something.
supposed to change things.
Yeah. So, besides any of the stars, what was your favorite move of the deadline?
The John Wall one
The funniest?
was objectively
Yeah,
hilarious.
I thought that was hilarious.
I also just love the Warriors like going back and being like, "Gee, we want Gary Payton back.
Over the second
Loved
overall
him that
pick.
much."
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it does make me sad that the wise man has been banished to Detroit,
My
but it's also a good opportunity for him. Like he's gonna get minutes.
Now my Wiseman jersey's a classic.
Yeah, that's right.
uh, I think my favorite move is the Hawks just sneakily getting Sadiq Bey for nothing. If the Celtics did
Yeah.
that, I'd be ecstatic. Like I think Sadiq Bey is a good player, so them getting Sadiq Bey for 5 second-round picks, that's a win for me. Which I think another winner of the trade deadline, or maybe a loser, is second overall pick or second round picks. Second round picks of just take 5 of them, take 10 of them. Why don't you? Like let's
They
have
have
these
no
teams.
value.
Can we have it so the teams can trade 20 second round picks? Have the next 10 years the second round picks. See if I care. Like these guys don't give a shit
They're
about
like
second round picks.
they're lottery tickets.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love the people like, "Oh, is the value of second round picks just like nothing now?" It's like it's never has been anything. That's like it's like protected
No
first.
point was like they gave up a second round pick for this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Ugh.
throw him in there.
All right.
We play 2K. We know how it works. It's
Yeah.
actually very similar to real life.
Yep. That's what it seemed like this year. It seemed like this was a very 2K-esque trade deadline.
Oh yeah.
They and like just scrolling. I was talking about it earlier. FanDuel posted every player on a new team, and the post was 4 posts long. It's 4 pages of
Mm.
players, and they're just lined up on their new team. Ugh, all right.
This is the best deadline we've had in years, maybe ever.
Yeah, this was a great trade deadline. They peaked, I think, on the trade deadline. All right. I think that we pretty much got all of it.
We did.
Yeah, there's a couple players we didn't mention, but they're irrelevant. Uh, but other than that, we went over every trade. Nice. So I guess we should have done this earlier because he deserves the respect of doing it earlier. But Mr. LeBron James getting the #1 scoring title in the NBA. What are your initial thoughts?
I mean, I have a lot,
All right.
but first of all, it was an awesome moment.
Yeah.
Like, before we get into the goofy stuff, it was awesome, and like I had goosebumps watching it. Because like you remember him when he was on the Cavs, and then young player and like winning his first championship, and like we've grown up watching him play and like seen his whole career too. So to see him do something like break a record like that was thought to be unbreakable was pretty awesome. That being said,
Here, wait, before you get to the goofy stuff, let me add to that. Yeah, he's our GOAT. Like in our generation,
right.
it's him and it's Tom Brady for the people who we've grown up with, who have been the best in their sports,
Bryce
and
Harper.
and it's really been, if you have this guy on your team and you have competent players around him, they will win you a championship. And I mean, he can do all the Jordan comparisons, everything like that. And what I want to bring up the most is the fact that he was pressured at such a young age to be such
Hmm.
a great player, and he did it. He fucking did it.
There was never a doubt.
No. And
Ever.
he's been living with a camera in his face for 30 years. So since he's been a 16-year-old kid, he's had a camera in his face, and people have paid exuberant amount of money just to see him play the game of basketball. And to have that finally come in to cement him as an all, like, there's always going to be GOAT debates and whatever your GOAT is or whatever, but you can't deny that he's a top 3 NBA player of all time.
Hmm.
And this just cements it. And you're right. I got goosebumps watching it, knowing that this record was sitting there for 40 years and was never thought of to be broken.
I mean, you're right. We can do the GOAT debate another time. Obviously, we don't have
He'd
to.
be a summer
That
pod.
that has bothered me. Like, and as soon as it happened, it was like, is LeBron the GOAT? Like after this, and it's like, all right, how many times do we have to have this debate? But like for our generation, you're right. Like he's the guy.
Yep.
When you think of NBA, you think of LeBron James.
And
Curry had that for a little bit, and I think maybe like Luka could be getting there at that point, but for 20 years, it's been NBA LeBron James.
Yeah. He's been
the face of
it.
the league.
Yes.
Always.
And he always has had this pressure on him that he's just been able to excel past and not worry about at time and time again. Another thing I want to add is you never think of LeBron too as a dominant scorer. At least I know. You just think of him as a good basketball player who gets his teammates open. In his younger career, he'd pass up like opportunities to score the basket at the end and give it to his teammates, and he got shit for it when he was younger. And it's just him being a good he's a selfless, good basketball player who has, in his longevity, has been able to creep his way up to the top scorer.
Hmm.
The goofy side.
The pause in the game was a little bit much.
What did you expect?
I know. I didn't know it would be that bad.
Oh,
I knew that there would be a pause. I didn't know he would give a speech.
Why? Why? How did you not know this?
Because it was the middle of the game.
All right.
I thought, like, maybe after the game.
This happens every time, though.
Every time?
Remember when Drew Brees broke the record?
What?
And they stopped the Saints
that,
game, and
his
family came down, and he gave the speech and all that crap. It's the same thing. Steph Curry breaks the 3-point record. They do the same thing. Like, this is every time a major record like this is going to be broken, that's what's going to happen. And I love the people who like I in my fraternity group chat, there's people who normally don't watch basketball and would never watch an OKC Lakers game on a Tuesday night going,
Oh,
"Why are they
yeah.
stopping the game? Why are they stopping the game?" It's like, first of all, why are you watching the game? You're watching the game because he's gonna break the record. That's why you're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
And they had a counter in the corner of the game that showed how many points he needed.
They
Of
weren't
course
even,
they were
like,
gonna stop him.
talking about the game either. They were just,
No.
like, basically setting up the moment
Yes.
the whole
The
time in
whole
that 3rd
time.
quarter.
And
Which, like,
after
they should. I mean, it is,
yes.
like, it was a historical night.
And the the what was it? The stoppage, everything else, like I get it, it was pretty long, but it's only gonna happen. We're gonna see this what again in 50 years, 40 years. So
Maybe.
yeah, maybe. So this might never happen again in our lifetime. So people should have. I hated the complaints about it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna push back on you on that.
I wasn't necessarily complaining about it. I was just like, I don't know, it was a little bit shocking. They went on for as long as they did. Like, I knew that they were gonna pause, and he deserves it. Like, he deserves to soak up that moment. But, like, when they played a whole video
I was like the
and gave
video
him
can
the
be
mic,
played later. Yeah, like give him the
right?
mic.
How about at the end of the quarter? Like, there's
Yeah.
gonna be a break anyway.
Yeah, wasn't there like 10 seconds left in the third too? So they came back and
Yes.
played 10 more
Right,
seconds and then went
yes.
to commercial
They
break
could have
again.
just let it go and then done it in between quarters. Like, that would have been way more acceptable, I think.
What? All right, so let's talk about
I just
the
think it's weird, like, giving a player a microphone, having him give a speech, and then he just goes and plays again.
no, and I'm sure that kind of probably affected him too. It's probably like I'm out of my
Yeah.
rhythm, and I'm sure all the other players were out of their rhythm too. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
so there's a couple. I mean, there's a lot of things I want to talk about with this. So the first thing, did you see the reaction of all the other Lakers players and compared to Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook?
Mhm. I didn't
Anthony
see Westbrook, I saw Anthony Davis.
So Westbrook, I mean, he knew he wanted to, like LeBron basically came out and was like, "I'm sad we didn't trade Westbrook for Kyrie Irving." And
Right.
if I'm Westbrook, as much as nobody wants to defend Westbrook, uh, how the hell are you supposed to play a basketball game when the
Mm.
guy goes on public television and goes, "Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed to get Kyrie. There's only one way to get
Mhm.
Kyrie. It's trading Westbrook." So he was off. There's videos about him in the pregame, like all the Lakers guys are hyping up each other and stuff, and he's just wandering around, out of place. And I kind of felt bad, like that. You know how awkward that
Yeah.
must be to be like,
Oh, yeah.
"Hey, LeBron, let's go play a game where you're basically the only point of this game, and
You don't want me.
yeah, and you don't want me here at all." So, and Anthony Davis, I don't know what was up with him. And afterwards he was like, I just want to win basketball games," which I get it. Like
Mm.
if you're in your prime and you're injury prone and you're finally healthy and you're playing against this OKC team, losing, and then have to stop the game for your big man LeBron to come in and do his stuff. Like I'd be pretty PO'd too. But that being
Mhm.
said, you signed up. You know who LeBron is. You're like LeBron's
Mhm.
best friend, and you knew what you got into when you wanted to sign with Clutch and force your way out of New Orleans.
Like, why do you have to pout?
Yeah, I know. Be
It's almost
happy
like
for
he
your
went out of his way to,
yeah,
like, make a scene.
yeah. It's like to
Just
be
smile and
happy.
wave,
Yes,
buddy.
smile, give him a couple claps, give him a hug. Like LeBron was on the bench afterwards, and he's like, "Hey, like I don't know what's wrong, but like I love you, man." And like that. I mean, it's come on now. Uh, that being said, though, it's got to be exhausting to be a part of his like you are if you're a teammate of LeBron, you are helping LeBron's legacy and that's it. You're not here to win. Like this is not for you. This is for LeBron's legacy. And
Right.
that's got to get frustrating at some point. So I'll give him that.
Yeah, I bet. It was just like, he looked like such a baby.
Yeah, he did. And he also looked like a corpse in the game.
Hmm.
Like OKC players were pulling up on him and he would just move his hand up to like basically his shoulder height and wouldn't even block
Hmm.
the shot. Like I watched it multiple
There was
times
no
and
defense in that game.
no, not at all. And it's funny. So afterwards the TNT broadcast was going on and it was like 1 in the morning. I needed to sleep. And I was like, I can't not watch this. Like this is NBA history.
Hmm.
It's Kareem talking to Shaq and they're talking to LeBron, and it was just something I didn't want to miss. And but it's funny, like I was thinking in the back of my head the whole time. I was like, are they even gonna say OKC won the game? Like, are they even gonna mention it? And it's also
Yeah.
OKC gets how many TNT games a year? And
Right.
they finally win one on prime time against a top tier team, and it's like afterwards it's all just a LeBron fest, which it should have been.
Mhm.
To be fair, it should have been a LeBron fest, but
It's funny though.
it's sad for the OKC fans.
Yeah.
What a
Oh, again, like they knew what they were getting into too with this team.
yeah,
They're not expecting to have TNT games.
yeah, and they also great. I mean, what a showing out from Shy and Josh Giddey, just putting it on him, and I kind of like that. Don't let him win his record
Mhm.
game. Screw that.
And like the defense on that on the shot, like got strapped the possession before.
Yeah. No, they were trying to
They
stop him.
trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, they were trying to stop
It's like
him.
that seems like a low bar, but sometimes it's like the All-Star game in games like this, like Kobe's last game.
Yeah, yeah. Gordon
Yeah, just let
Hayward
him
let
go
him score
score.
60.
Yeah.
The so what was it? God. Oh, Kareem. They kept showing
Mhm.
this poor guy. They drag him out to watch a guy he doesn't even like break his record, and then they have to show
On
him
his
after
team too.
on his team, and they have to show him after every shot. Every single shot,
Oh,
they
it's
just
literally
show
every
him.
shot.
Yep.
Then they like make him take a picture with him. It's like, why would he want to do this? Like you're just torturing the old man.
To be fair, I think it's for the history of the game, the love of the game. That's
Yeah.
why that's why he stayed there. That's why he, took the picture with him and
Yeah,
everything.
and he said that he didn't care. He said that at this point in his life, like he'd rather spend a day with his grandkids, spend one extra day with his grandkids than that scoring title.
No, yeah, and he had it for 40 years. He was the face of the league when he was there, so he gets it. But it is funny to think about. That was Jordan's record. You think Jordan would be in the stands? Fuck no. He'd be like,
Yeah,
get this out of
definitely.
here. He was probably so mad that night. Everyone calling him the goat and
Oh yeah,
everything. He was probably so pissed.
yeah, definitely.
Uh
He's taking it personally.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. I love the afterwards. It was like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is 4 points away from breaking the scoring record. Will he break it tonight? Suit him up. Or I saw a bunch of
People
other
were
memes.
saying like, what if he just like signed a contract with the Rockets or something?
Or with the Thunder
Like,
that
nah.
night. That night, and he's like guarding them in the paint and everything. That would be hilarious. I saw a couple too. It was like, remember when the Timberwolves had that one woman protesting that just ran on the court?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when LeBron's shooting his last shot. He runs up and just blocks it. Uh, what other things we wanna touch on here?
I think that I really just wanted to talk about Oh, the phones.
Yes, yes, the picture.
Uh, so kind of split on this because I get what people are saying. Like you live in the moment. You can take a video and also watch at
In
the same
person,
time.
yeah.
You don't have to watch through your phone. Like I've done this at Phillies games. Like after they win, I watch like the last. I don't think I've done it during the game. Like after the game to just capture the atmosphere. I watch those videos all the time, and it's like amazing. Oh, I don't know if these people have just like never recorded a video at a sporting event because I have a bunch and I watch them all the time. It like reminds me of what it was like there.
I also
You can take a video and like hold your phone like this
yeah, and actually watch
and
it
still
still.
watch.
Yeah. I
Oh, I don't know, like just seems like a boomer take, to be honest.
there was there I had two different sides to this because I was thinking about I've actually thought about this a lot because I try to cut down on my screen time and I struggle with it and it's hard and I think I'm on the perception that phones are brain killers and we're all stupider because of them. But that being said, when you're at that event, they paid millions of dollars to be in those seats and to watch him break the scoring record. And so there's I get both arguments because it's going to be recorded by a million angles. You could just watch the game or watch the 1,000 clips that professionals take, or you could have it on your shitty iPhone. But if you are there, you paid to be there, and most likely are there to capture this on your phone from your perspective. What I don't get is there's so many angles to this. What I don't understand is why his kids recorded a video on his Snapchat. That is your
Mhm.
father, man. You're gonna take a Snapchat video, like just go and like I don't know, and like they afterwards, Bronny showed there was like a video. Bronny showed him his point of view,
Right, yeah, I
and like
saw
that
that.
was kind of cool. But
Yeah.
both kids have to record videos. They're standing right next to each other. What's the difference of the video? And that's the other thing that bothered me was like you can look at the guy next to you and go, "Hey, can I just get your video?" Because
Right.
their video is the same exact video that you got.
Mhm.
So,
But yeah, there was a guy at the Phillies game we went to. It was like taking videos of everything. Like after a home run, my dad was just like, "Hey, can you send me that?"
yeah.
So
Yep. And
it just kind of bites the bullet.
the other thing, so they compared Jordan's final shot on the Bulls and all the crowd
Oh, I
looking.
saw that.
That
And
there's no
that was
phones back then.
ridiculous.
There was no phones.
Also, it's it's the last shot of the finals, and it was on the road.
Yeah.
Why would they take a video of Jordan beating them in the
Yeah.
finals?
Yep. And there wasn't phones that had cameras. There was also it wasn't the scoring title. It was just like we didn't know that was going to be his last shot. We probably did
Yeah.
we knew that LeBron shot was going in and that was going to be his shot
Yes.
to call the scoring title. So that's why people wanted the video of it. That picture is it's so like like Black Mirror-esque. It's like, oh, like look at all these
Yeah.
people on their phones. And it's like, yeah, there's angles to it. Like, come on now. So I can see both ways, but I wouldn't have been on my phone. That's all I gotta say.
I don't know if I would have been or not.
I
I don't
would.
think I would have been.
No, I don't think so either. I just would have been excited about it. I also am not rich and would have been able to sit that close. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
another
right.
thing. I like from the nosebleeds. I don't give a shit. Like, why do I need that camera angle?
Yeah, right.
All right. I guess to wrap it up, congrats on LeBron James, the player of our generation, and deservingly so.
Second best player of all time.
I'm not gonna make my stance now. All right.
We could do. I don't think we've ever done it on the podcast.
No, I don't think so either.
Full
I
on
don't
goat
like.
debate.
I
We
think
could do it this summer.
we definitely can. I think those GOAT debates are stupid though, because it's like,
I do too.
yeah. But
At the end of the day, who really cares?
yeah,
They
I just
do.
appreciate greatness.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, it's time. We're an hour in, and it's the Friday before the Super Bowl, and we haven't even talked about the Super Bowl. Boom, the green screen's up, and we're talking about the Super Bowl. It's about time. And we're talking about the game now. Finally, feels like it's been longer than 2 weeks.
No, especially with all of, like the NBA stuff that's happened.
Yeah.
Like, started like watching college basketball to fill the void,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh wait, there's still one more game. It always feels like that though.
Yeah. So Eagles at the Chiefs. We're actually talking not prop bets this time, actual logistics. Talking about the game itself. And I've mentioned it before. I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm in such a pickle, and like I've obviously wrecked my brain this NFL season because now I'm like trying to fade myself and like trying to figure out who I actually think is going to win, and then do the opposite of that. I'm just going to ignore that for now. I think it's the Chiefs.
So I could see.
I think Mahomes gets the second one.
There's a lot. I can see both sides. The thing that has been keeping me up because I think the Eagles D line is going to be dominant. I think their offensive line has been great all season. But what I've heard is that you can pass on the Eagles, and if the last thing I want to hear is that Patrick Mahomes can pass on the Eagles because that's going to be the key to this. If they can keep this passing game stagnant, consistent, and mix it in with some running attack that is decent, then the Chiefs should have no problem. And what also scares me is that the Eagles have played a cupcake season so far, and it's not their fault. You only play who's in front of you, and they look if they have to now face the Chiefs, it could get pretty hairy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Eagles are the better team in terms of just roster construction.
Yeah.
Like at most position groups, they're better. Um, and the Mahomes ankle worries me a little bit because they're going to get to him.
Yep.
And he's going to get hit and he's going to have to run. And I don't know how well that ankle is going to hold up. But it's almost one of those games where it's like, I don't know how, but he'll find a way to do it. It's like, if he really wants to become one of the best of all time, like, it's almost a must win.
I was gonna say it's almost a legacy game for Mahomes,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
he's now gonna be going to his third Super Bowl. If he loses this, he's now 1-2 in Super Bowls, and
Mhm.
all of a sudden there's gonna be some fraud talk. Even though it's not deserving, it's not deserving at all. But there's gonna be some fraud
Come
talk.
on.
There's gonna be the Josh Allen argument's gonna come back up. The Joe Burrow's gonna be lingering around, and if he secures this win and gets the dub, he puts it all to bed. He's the man in the AFC.
He solidifies himself in a tier above everyone else,
Yes.
which is what he is.
Yeah. I
You
agree.
can talk about him, Allen Burrow, in one tier. He's above them.
Yeah. He is. And I
That
think he's
talented.
he's shown that, but to the public eye and to the NFL media who loves to make narratives and loves to make storylines about nothing, this is going to be it's almost as you said a must win to solidify this and make sure that this all goes put to bed.
Mhm.
So, looking at the roster construction of both of these teams, the Eagles, it's one of the most impressive restructuring of a roster in NFL, maybe not history, but recent history. The Eagles
Mhm.
they won the Super Bowl 5 years ago. They had a quarterback who they took second overall. They realized he doesn't fit with what they want to do forward. They draft Hurts in the second round. Everyone calls it a bad pick, calls it a dumb pick, and they used that money. They didn't pay Wentz. They got rid of him, got another first round pick for him, and just added assets after assets, and have drafted really well. And it was like their one piece that they needed was that AJ Brown trade, which they eventually did, and they come forward with it. And now here they are, where they have this stacked roster, a cheap quarterback, a lot of good picks, and they're all very homegrown players. There's not a lot of players that
You,
are coming from other places.
you see that graphic?
Yes.
It, like, I think it's
Yep.
10 of the 11 offensive
Offensive players
starters
are
were
all
drafted.
Yes.
Just nuts. Like, you
Mhm.
don't see that.
No.
It's
And
not. That's not normal.
no, not at all. And the one piece that wasn't, the one player that was not, was this AJ Brown, which they lucked
Mhm.
into because the Titans were stupid enough to trade him and not they don't dumb enough not to pay him. And he's proving the Titans to be completely wrong and proven himself to be one of the top tier wide receivers in the NFL.
Yeah, and it's like every move that they made worked. Like the Hassan Reddick deal.
Signing, yep,
I
great.
mean, he's been unbelievable this year.
Yeah.
And like one of the best defenders in the league.
Yeah, and they still have
Um,
a bunch of core guys from that previous Super Bowl still. A couple guys that have been there and won it. Jason Kelsey, Brandon Graham, a lot of players on their defense. And they got big play Slay. They have all this. And they got all these guys with having a top 10 draft pick this year from the
I
Saints.
know.
So this is not a must win for the Eagles. They can
No.
lose this and hold their heads high, draft a guy number 10 and or trade down, get more players, get more assets. Like they are in such a great position where if you're an Eagles fan, you're looking to make a couple of these Super Bowls, not just one.
And your best window obviously is while Hurts is still on the rookie contract.
Mhm.
That's like 4 years.
So
Maybe
what
three.
worries me, yeah, and it's cheap. It's a second round deal. So what worries me is that we haven't seen the Eagles uh play, in a tough situation where they're down by one score, have to drive all the way the length of the field and win the
It's the
game.
Commanders they did. Choked.
Yeah, and they blew it.
Insane.
So they haven't played in any close games that have been victories, and they this is gonna be a I mean, of course it's gonna be a test. It's a Super Bowl. So it's gonna be a great way to see how Hurts does against an actual uh playoff quarterback.
Mhm. He didn't look great last week.
No, no, we were talking about that. He doesn't
Two
he
weeks
didn't look
ago.
great.
Yes.
And he didn't need to look great. So there's a chance where
Hmm.
he doesn't need to look great this game either, and the defense dominates, and Mahomes' ankles gets ruptured again, and they get to him. But if in the sense that if Mahomes can throw on this defense, and if they can score points, they're gonna have to keep up with them, and it's gonna have to be more than just a rushing attack.
Hmm.
Ugh. There was the media week that has just become one of the most pointless things ever. Like
Like
all
Radio Row.
Yeah, like all this stuff is I don't give a shit about it. Like there's always like and they're like, "Oh, we're interviewing Sauce Gardner from the Jets." It's like, "Oh, he's not even in the like I don't care. Like why should I
Ron
care?"
got interviewed.
Rep Ron got interviewed. He was saying that Sam Howell is your starting QB. Um so there's a lot of pointless media that goes on. Somebody asked Nick Sirianni if this is a must-win game. It's a Super Bowl. Uh Somebody asked, what was another I think I did I send them to you? Because I saw it on
There was
Twitter.
one that like asked who on the Eagles like would he not let his daughter date, and he's
Oh,
like,
yeah, and he's
my
like, "My
daughter's
daughter's
5 years
6." Yeah, my daughter's 6 years old.
old.
Those are just great responses. Just like, "What the hell are
Yeah,
you talking about?" And
yeah, like dude, just
the
shut up.
yeah, it's I just feel like maybe it's because, my team's not in it, but even when like, I didn't care about any of the press conferences that the Pats ever did. Like, it doesn't ever mean anything unless one of the guys like, the only time it mattered was when it was, like, Gronk had his concussion and, like, is he gonna play in the Super Bowl? That's the only time it mattered. Uh,
Yeah, no, it's just for show, but it is fun. Like it builds hype
yeah,
around the game, which it doesn't need any more hype, but
and it
it's
gets
fun
people
for the
together.
media, I
Yeah,
think.
it's fun for, like, all the guys that have worked their tail off all year producing
Yeah,
podcasts
yeah.
and,
Just go hang out at the
writing
Super Bowl.
stuff and, yeah, and meeting players. So that's gotta be fun for them and all the beat writers and stuff. But I just think now that the NBA trade deadline is right there in Super Bowl week. Um, hello,
Me?
Christopher.
Am I back?
Yeah, that was on
Yeah,
you this time. That's fine with
I
me.
know. I was about to ask, like, can you hear me? Because my RTC disconnected. No,
That's all right. It's better than gladly it didn't stop the live stream or anything. So
just like a complete shutdown.
what I was saying is now that the trade deadline is up, like they moved since they moved the Super Bowl back a week because of the Super Wild Card weekend or whatever reason why it was. Oh, the 18th week. So now there's the trade deadline right in the middle of it. There's NBA All Stars that we're worried about. There's college basketball starting to turn up, and there's a lot of other things that distract you from the Super Bowl this week. It felt like.
It's just kind of nice because it's like once it's game day, then that's what you think about. But it's not like you have to wait 2 weeks and you're literally just like if you're a fan of the team, you just sit there and you wait. But as a sports fan in general, there's a lot of stuff that you can occupy your time with, which is
Yeah,
nice.
and that's always nice too, because like normally this week it's like, oh, it's like a barren wasteland. It's like, who
Yeah.
knows? Like we're gonna watch, and there's been a lot of stuff that have uh, helped out this little break. So
Hmm.
Andy Reid against the Chiefs, that's been a big storyline because former Eagles coach, 14 years, had a
Was
weird.
he? I
Yeah,
haven't heard
yeah,
that.
you didn't realize that, did you? Huh?
No, I never.
No,
The media hasn't covered it at all.
no. And he had a weird exit with the Philadelphia Eagles. Just all of a sudden became the Chiefs coach,
Yeah.
and so this is like there's a lot of former Eagles coaching staff on this team, and it means nothing because it's
Hmm.
not like it's any of the same players, but a cool little rivalry, I guess, for Philadelphia. Just an added
Hmm.
little boost. Like, oh, let's screw up this guy who messed us up a couple years ago.
Even though he was beloved there.
Yeah, He was, but when you're going against
Like,
in the
how could
Super
you
Bowl,
not
there's
love
no
Andy
more
Reid?
beloved. Yeah, there's no
Oh,
beloved.
yeah, of course not.
They've definitely convinced themselves.
I'm sure even Philadelphians will say, like, if you're gonna lose to anyone, like, they'd want to see it be Andy Reid, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah, that's fair.
Doug.
And we were talking about the Eagles' construction. The Chiefs' construction is also they've prolonged this stretch because they've been able to they got on Mahomes early. They got rid of Alex Smith when it was the time, and
Mm,
they let him develop. They did really like both these teams did like the perfect job of how you can see them here. Like it's perfect
right.
construction on the rosters on how you can see them here. And I'm just like two great teams matching up. And I like this is like my excitement from the NFC Championship that went away within the first quarter is now coming back.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see just two baller teams go at it with each other.
I feel like this is one of the most even Super Bowls that we've had, too.
One of the hardest to plant a flag on a team, at
Yeah,
least for me,
definitely.
because
Yeah,
there's
because last year, like, we were pretty confident in the Rams.
Mhm.
Um, what was the year before? Was it the Bucks?
Yeah, the
One?
Bucks Chiefs, and you could like
I was supposed to be, but
yeah, but that the Brady
wasn't.
thing, you knew. Yeah, I felt I just after he made it to the Super Bowl with the Bucks, he's like, oh, he's
Yeah,
gonna win it. And then before that was the Niners Chiefs. It seemed like a lot of people were on the Chiefs,
yeah.
and it's been yeah. So this is one of the hardest ones to determine because they're such both good teams, great teams.
Mm, yeah, I'm excited. It's like it does sound cliche, like just want to watch two great teams play, but that's what we want as sports fans. Like we
Yep.
want to see the Stars go against the Stars. We want a good game, and like we haven't really had it, at least on the NFC side. So now's the time.
Yeah. Did you see the Rod Goodell quote saying that the refereeing has never been better?
I did not see that.
Yeah, little it was funny. I was listening to a couple other guys and they were saying
NFC Championship was a total ref show.
he was saying
it just it was.
yeah, both the championships were big ref shows. And I think the NFL kind of likes the scapegoats of the refs.
Yeah.
Like you could tell like they don't mind. Oh, like basically they're like, "Oh, refs are human too and they are never going to change like they're never going to somehow fix it." So
Hmm.
we'll never know what a catch is. We'll never know what a roughing the passer is.
No. Never use the chip in the ball.
What?
Never use the chip that's
No.
in the ball, apparently.
God forbid. God forbid we ever do. Ugh. All right. What other storylines have you been hearing this week?
The Kelseys.
Oh, that's the lamest one.
What's that lame?
It's the lamest one. I don't care about
I think
either
it's
Kelsey
cool.
brother.
Why?
I don't know. I just don't. I don't care. I just don't care about them at all. Either one of
Well,
them.
I think they're both like interesting people.
Yeah, and they're both gonna be Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Being that's just got to be like, what's the household looking like? How does
Yeah.
is there split
No idea.
jerseys? Is the mom wearing a Chiefs jersey and the dad's an Eagle? Like what's going on here? And when your parents watching that, what do you like? Luckily they're not lining up against each other ever. But what do you root for? You just root for, I guess, that your son doesn't get pancaked on one side and your other son
Yes.
doesn't drop the ball in an important moment.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what you do. You just try to enjoy the game.
Yeah, I guess so. I
It's
guess it's
lucky
a
that
win-win.
it's nice that they're on different sides of the ball.
Yeah, then you don't have to see him
Like
against
you
each
never
other.
have to directly root against one of them.
Yeah.
You just root for points, I guess. The over.
Yeah, you root for the over. What is the over in this?
Let's see.
Because it's got to be a lot.
49.
I like the
Yes.
under.
51.
I like the under.
There. I feel like
Just-
Super Bowl under is always a good bet.
Yeah, because it's always boosted to such high numbers.
Right?
And
Because it's the most bet on event in the world, and people don't like to bet the under.
that's true. Yeah. So I'm sure all the money is on the over.
Wow, the over under has gone 27 and 28 in the first 55 Super Bowl matchups.
Wow.
So one more under.
Damn. Make it even. All right. What? Yeah, get Kelsey brothers. That's all I can say about. I don't really know what else to say about them. Both great careers. Cool that they're playing against each other, I guess. Um, Other than that, I mean, I'm just excited. This is gonna be a good game. So that's really what I've been focused on this week is just getting amped up, getting to watch some good football.
I don't think I'm gonna bet on the game. I think I'm just gonna take props.
Not even a.
I
All right,
don't.
wait. What's your score? What's your score prediction?
The score. I didn't want to think about it. Last time I did it right off the dome. So taking the under, gotta be under 51 then. Go about 27-24 Chiefs. That's right at the 51.
27-24 Chiefs. All right, we'll look for that. Coming the Super Bowl. What are the odds to bet right at that?
I'll tell you, there's so many scores that it takes. I was scrolling through it yesterday. It takes like so long to find the scores.
The exact one. Yeah. Oh man,
Right.
What was it last year? Plus 1,000 something.
I don't want to think about it. It was a lot. Okay. I kind of want to take like just a wacky one, like Chiefs 33, Eagles 26. At plus 40,000.
Damn.
27-24 is plus 4,900.
Great. Hammer it. You got it last time.
Yeah. So $1 would win me 49.
Nice.
Dollars. Almost 100. $100.
Get yourself a nice little thing of cheddar. Yeah, so you got it last year. You got it on the dot. So if for whatever that means, 27-24 Chiefs. Just throw some money on it. Throw a little wager on it. See what happens.
You got
so what do you say?
Cheers.
My score prediction. All right. Now I already said I like the under, so I gotta. What is that? 51. I'm gonna go 31. I guess if I do that, it'd be 20.
Yeah, the math isn't.
No. All right. Let me do. All right. I'm doing 31-20 Eagles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not really a tight game.
No, I think if the Eagles get up early and do what they do, and can do what they do, then it's going to be pretty similar to a lot of their other games, where they get up early and they just keep running the ball down their throat. It's what scares me is if the Chiefs can stop that. If the Chiefs can stop that, I don't know what else the Eagles can do besides, because we haven't seen Hurts have to do it. So, that's what I'd be worried about the most. And part of me is like I'm all in on the Eagles because I secretly want them to lose. But the other part is that they're just a stacked roster, and I'd feel like an idiot if all of a sudden I went back on it. Anything else?
We hit it all. I will be happy for Hurts.
Yeah, I would be excited for Hurts. It'd be nice to see him finally get some real recognition.
My family and my girlfriend be the roots for the Eagles.
No, so yeah, you'll also be pretty happy for them.
I will be happy for them, but I don't know. I'm in a tough spot here.
You're in a pickle. The I am. If Hurts wins it, it'll be exciting for him to actually get recognition. Show Chris Sims the Chris Sims quote. Where he's still like bashing on him. It's like, what is your problem with him, man? He's in the Super Bowl.
Why does he hate him so much?
I have no
idea. Be racist, right?
Gotta be. It has to be.
All there is to it.
Yeah. So I'd like to see Chris Sims eat his words, and Hurts holding up that trophy. All right.
Even if he does, like, he can just keep the same storyline. It's like, well, they would have won anyway because they're perfectly built. It's like, dude, just shut up.
I know.
Let him. Like, he was gonna be MVP of the league before he got hurt.
Yeah, he's so dumb.
That is the other cool thing about the Super Bowl. This is 1 and 2 in the MVP race.
Yeah, and
if Hurts didn't get hurt, like, it would have been a toss up.
Did you see the voting of it though?
Mm.
So out of 50 votes, it was 1 for Jalen Hurts, 48 for Mahomes, and I think 1 for like Burrow or Allen or something. So it was a wash by the end of it. But you're right. That would have been a toss up if he's
Yeah.
finished all 18 games.
Prescott won Man of the Year.
Really? Why? I didn't even. So that's funny. We haven't even talked about NFL honors because I haven't seen anything about it. I saw
I forgot that it existed. Like I didn't even know that. I forgot that they already did the MVP.
Yeah, they just did it last night. So
For them.
the offensive and defensive rookie of the year was both Jets players, which has to be like I was texting my Jets friend. I was like, you gotta be like a proud father today. Like your Jets finally made 2 great draft picks who will hopefully be your cornerstone franchise players for the next 5-10 years. And now they just need a conductor, Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
There you go. Ooh, also, I know we get sick of talking about Aaron Rodgers, but the 4-day darkness retreat actually sounds pretty awesome. I would do that.
Oh yeah, 4 days without just reconnect
Sit
with yourself.
in a dark room, like no light.
Reconnect with yourself.
Yeah.
Meditate.
And then you like hallucinate and stuff.
That's so weird.
I would totally do that.
That's so weird. I for some reason I was listening to some things and they were like, oh, the Johnson and Johnson owner is the guy who owns the Jets. So he's not going to the Jets. He doesn't like Johnson. He doesn't like the vaccines. He's scared of them. He's allergic to them. So I don't know where he's gonna go, and I frankly I don't want to speculate. I'm tired of speculating.
All off season.
All right, I think that does it. You got anything else for the pod in general?
College corner, I guess. We have game Penn State tomorrow. Should be a sellout, so I'm pumped.
Sweet. I think they play at Old Miss tomorrow, and I'll watch it, but I'll be mad and disappointed. All right. Well,
good game against Mizzou, right?
Yeah, they had a
Just hung
good
around.
game. They hung around. There was a couple flagrant calls that were pretty dumb by SEC ref rating, but whatever. They blew it at the end anyways. So.
Oh, you going to bat for on Twitter?
Yeah. I got a bat for my guy.
For you.
I thought the Barstool account made a great post explaining it, and they said what we've been saying. It's year 0. It's got to give him a chance to build. Bless you. And
Thanks.
no problem. And they should give him a chance, and they're gonna be a little mad. We've only won one SEC game, so it makes sense. But gotta give him time to build. And one of our prospects, actually, I guess this could be a little college corner. Our 4-star prospect for next year has upgraded in the top 100 on his rankings, and is the number 1 player in Wisconsin. So if we play Wisconsin ever, they better watch out. I don't know what that does for our program, but it's something.
Wait, what do you mean? Like signed?
Yeah. He's a committed player, and he's like his ranking.
Getting a 4-star in your first year, that's
no, it's not something to. And number 1 player in Wisconsin, baby. It's not something to poo-poo. All right. Well, I think that does it. We're just grasping for straws here now. A great hour and 30 pod. Yeah, thank you all for listening. Hopefully your team did something cool in the trade deadline. Hopefully maybe your team's in the Super Bowl. But thank you all for listening. Have a great Super Bowl weekend, and go Cox, I guess.
Go Terps.
All right.